So let's do it. I've been keeping an eye on Joe since he got in, which so's his cabinet and so's the DNC, because you will notice he's gone the longest of any president in 100 years without doing an open meet the press, and even answering impromptu questions. They're not allowing him to do. In fact, just before I even get into this, I forgot to add this bit on. So, he did say he would take questions when he was doing a speaking bit, and they just fucking cut him off. They said, "No, we can't risk that. He's fucked in the feed. Like, his box is gone." So here it is, as reported on the New York Post. Here it was. Right, I'll unmute it. This is how the live stream ended. Come on.
I know parts of this and everything else we seek to do are not easy, but people are going to remember how we showed up in this moment, how we listened to them, not special, to them, and how we took action. I believe.
Can I also just say, like, say special interests again, Joe.
To them, not special, to them, and how we took action. I believe we're going to come through this, and I think that people's memories will be long.
Longer than yours.
Continue to stay laser focused on getting shots in people's arms, responding to the economic crisis. It's going to open up a lot of hearts and a lot of doors for us tomorrow to do the many more things we know we have to do. So I want to thank you all. I really mean it from the bottom. I want to thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, that isn't even the thing. It didn't even show the bit where it got cut off. Anyway. Let me find. I'll find the clip. I had to listen to him just waffle on for no reason.
Thank you, thank you.
Right, here it is. Okay. Yeah, like, it literally, they cut off too early. Just like Joe Biden's brain.
Thank you. And I'm happy to take questions if that's what I'm supposed to do, Nance, whatever you want me to do.
Happy to take those questions. And scene. There will be no questions. He cannot answer questions. We're not going to allow Joe Biden to answer any questions because he can't. Like, put it this way. Donald Trump would at least take the script and be capable of reading the script. He went off script all the time, not because he's mentally ill. Well, not in the same way Joe is, but he would just do it because he's an egotistical cunt and always thought he could add his own spin that would be effective as a room of political writers. And you could always tell when he was going off book because he'd look away and start repeating the last words and go, many such people have said. He would always open up with this. Many people have said this. And whenever Donald Trump said many people have said, he means, I imagine the following. You always could tell. But anyway, so Joe Biden's not allowed to talk to the press. He's, which is going to come into another clip later on. But he was having a real rough time. He did another press conference bit where he forgot the name of the Secretary of Defense and forgot what the Pentagon was called. This is no joke, no bit, no selective editing. You won't see me peddling the I'm Joe's husband thing, because he didn't say that. He did say Jill's, right? But here he goes.
Just want to thank you both, and I want to thank the former general. I keep calling him general, but the guy who runs that outfit over there. I want to make sure we thank the secretary for all he's done to try to implement what we've just talked about and for recommending these two women for promotion. Thank you all. May God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
So the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, is that guy. The Pentagon is over there. Not a problem. Like, you don't have to worry about the most powerful man in the world's brains being actual applesauce. You don't have to worry about it. Also, as well,
What I want to make is that
They start like, well, ask Joe some questions.
I said we're the oldest
This is when he was visiting, small businesses. Here we go. Let's ask him some
hardware
questions.
store in DC. I also say we're the greenest hardware store in America. We have 2 urban farms actually in our building. We have Mary, who's in the garage there, and then we have Cultivate the City, which is an awesome rooftop garden. They exist on our rooftop. But you're not going to be able to see it from here. But if they want to give a wave,
I see him.
yeah.
No, you
We also
don't.
have
Don't
solar.
jump. We need you.
And then if I could just.
Let's go, you guys. Press, let's go. We're moving out. Press, let's go. Press, let's go, you guys. Come on, Press. We're gonna move out. Let's go, Press. Guys, let's go. Come on, Press. Let's go. Come on, let's go.
Crisis at the border, sir.
Let's go, you guys. Come on. Come on, let's go.
Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
Literally shepherding all of the journalists out the room. You won't be talking about the crisis at the border, Joe. What's incredible is, right, I'm old enough, and so are all of you, by the way, so you better had. I'm old enough to remember when Donald Trump not answering questions was an attack on a free press. When suddenly, Jim Acosta, hack extraordinaire, was, talking about how when the president has contempt for journalists, it's a dangerous time to be writing while he's sipping on a fucking latte. Right, you do realise there's journalists in Mexico's being murdered by fucking paramilitary police members paid off by the fucking cartel and their heads being thrown into the fucking family members' lawns and shit like this. It's not dangerous to report on politics in America. It's one of the most overprivileged, pampered jobs, especially because you get to just lie. You get to just make it up, and there's zero consequences. You don't even have press oversight in America. It's actually more dangerous and difficult in the UK, where we actually have an appreciable press standard. Fucking morons. Anyway, what would we do without Snopes? Now, you all saw, right? You all saw that he clearly forgot the Secretary of Defense's name and where the Pentagon was. Snopes, Republicans were pouncing on it. So Snopes had to come in and they had to tell everybody, like, don't worry. This isn't true. So, did Biden forget Defense Secretary Austin's name? Right? They rate it a mixture. A mixture. What's true? A video shows Biden fumbling his words and apparently blanking on Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's name at one point in the speech, although he had mentioned Austin's name a few minutes earlier without issue. Yeah, that makes it a worse sign, by the way, Stubbs. That makes it worse, not better. Yes, he forgot something he just said a few minutes ago. Dementia. What are we fucking doing here? Anyway, what's undetermined? It's unclear whether Biden literally forgot the secretary's name at the moment, or whether, for example, he got stuck doing an extended folksy ad-lib after initially tripping over his words. Well, that's brilliant then. That's fine. I guess you're right. I guess we can't literally prove his brain stopped working. Thank you, Snopes. You are right. Now I guess we'll have to just take it as we'll never get to the bottom of it, will we? Ridiculous. Then, right, there was this other interview he did where, this is just mad. He goes, people are saying this, and then he ended it by going, they're not saying that. It is mental. This was on was this on ABC? I think so. George Stephanopoulos. So just again, Joe's all over the place. This is why he cannot talk to the press. Like it has to be controlled, pre-screened by the Democrat media complex, or we're in for a bad fucking time. Let's have a listen.
A lot of the migrants coming in saying they're coming in because you promised to make things better. It seems to be getting worse by the day. Was it a mistake not to anticipate this surge?
Well, first of all, there was a surge the last 2 years, in 19 and 20, there was a surge as well.
This one might be worse.
No, well, it could be, but here's the deal. We're sending back people to, first of all, The idea that Joe Biden said come, because I heard the other day that they're coming because they know I'm a nice guy and I won't do
They're
what Trump
saying
did.
this.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. They're not.
Do you have to say quite clearly, don't come?
Yes, I can say quite clearly, don't come. And what we're in the process of getting set up, don't leave your town or city or community.
Brilliant. You've nailed it, Joe. I mean, I'm sure since, 2019 onwards, where you've been saying don't come. When you've been saying quite loudly come, now adding don't come. Now that they're here, genius. Now that they're here. Now, I'm not even going to get into the border crisis. We'll let that one spin a little bit, right? But as I said earlier, the number now is that in children in detention centers, okay, it is now 700% more than it was under Trump and increasing every day to the point where to get out from under the negative press, I think they've now put aside $86 million to try and get people into hotels. That's where we're at. That's the number. You can Google it. We'll save that for another time, though. We'll save that for another time because I want to get all of the. These aren't prisons; these are state-of-the-art detention centers that just so happen to have bars on the windows. The gaslighting they will do to you is insane. But we'll save that one. We'll save that one, right? So anyway, as you can see, as you can see. He's having a bit of a struggle. Now, the other thing Joe Biden can always be relied upon for with his applesauce brains, we've all seen it. And they used to stroke my hairy legs. They used to turn blonde in the sun. And Corn Pop, he was a bad dude. He was a bad dude. So, right, this is a guy who, remember, he got caught lying about having gone to visit Nelson Mandela and getting arrested. Didn't happen. He lied to journalists about being top of his class when he wasn't. He was actually nearer the bottom, and he claimed he had all these qualifications that he didn't. Joe Biden is a serial fantasist, which when he was young and didn't have dementia was just standard common or garden political lies and embarrassing because he got caught every time. Now, you have to wonder whether he even believes these things happened. Remember, while he was on the campaign trail, he kept, way back actually, he kept calling fucking Theresa May, he kept calling her Margaret Thatcher, who'd been dead for fucking 4 years. This guy's fucking not all there. I don't know how much more evidence you need. But here we go. This is where celebrity didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. A classic celebrity didn't happen. President Biden, just listen.
Relatively well. And the conversation started off, I said, I know you and you know me. If I establish this occurred, then be prepared.
You said he doesn't have a soul.
Well, I did say that to him, yes. And his response was, we understand one another. I wasn't being a wise guy. I was alone with him in his office. That's how it came about. It was when President Bush had said, I've looked in his eyes and saw a soul. I said, looked in your eyes, and I don't think you have a soul. And looked back at me and said, we understand each other. Look, most important thing dealing with foreign leaders.
And then everybody clapped. I also don't know why this dickhead's so determined. Well, I do know why, obviously I do. Whenever I say I don't know why, I'm lying to I always know why. Like the fucking, I love tensions with Russia, me. Love tensions with Russia. Love Cold Wars. Love Greg's. Simple as. You know what I mean? Like, it's this, yeah. And you'll notice, there is no one's fact checking this or anything. No one's clambering over. There isn't 500 stories. Did Joe Biden really say to Putin, you don't have a soul? And we understand what none of this happened. It's just another one of fucking Joe Biden's made up stories to make it look like he's not some weak corporate fucking sucker, which is all he's ever been his entire career. It's all he ever is. What do you want? Oh, great lobbyists. I am here to deliver it to you even with only one functioning brain cell. I owe it all to the corporations. This is the guy, This is how you know all of these political grifters on Twitch and everything else don't know the first fucking thing about what they talk about. Because they're going like, yeah, I mean, the rise of fascism, it's really appreciable. Look at the Trump rallies. It's like Nuremberg. Yeah, of course, if you knew anything about actually the classification of fascism, you would notice how state and corporate values align as a key component of a functional fascist model. But of course you don't. It's just a buzzword. It's just a buzzword. Never read a fucking book, have you? Anyway, so this combination of everything led to a rumor that broke out, right, which the press got to talk about and focus on instead of all of the clear signs that Joe Biden is losing his fucking marbles. And they were all over this. You best believe they were. You see, Joe Biden obviously hasn't done a meet-up with the press. So people are like, when's he going to meet the press?
If you've purchased, leased or financed a Vauxhall diesel vehicle between 2008 and 2019, you may be able to claim thousands of pounds in compensation. Vauxhall is the latest car manufacturer to be accused of fitting many of its diesel vehicles with emissions cheating software.
The bastards. No wonder I'm mental. Anyway, so this was, if anyone's out there, like just fucking hell. I guess Biden was just driving a Vauxhall all these years, was he? Right. Anyway, so this is where Joe Biden had a very brief meeting with the press, and the video looked weird. So first of all, you're going to notice there's like little weird glitches and pixelations. That's fine. I think if I move my arm, you might get some. Not when I'm small. But anyway, it does happen. Artifacting, it's called. You know, it's just something that goes on. Anyway, here it comes out. And then what you're going to notice is look at these microphones, and they stick in, and there it was, right? So what happens is the mics that are in front look like they go behind. So you see, look at that, and there it is again. I know this is like the Zapruder film. So you see it, right?
Not at the moment.
And there in particular, and you can see how it's got this weird look on the arm, this weird look, right? I can do it in slow motion, I suppose. We can do that. We have the technology. Playback speed. Let's do it in 0.25. It's actually funny. When you play Joe Biden talking at 0.25, it doesn't sound any different. Rare phenomenon. Anyway. Right, and you can see. Oh, what's going on there? What's going on there? So, now, because Joe Biden hasn't had a meeting with the press, everyone was like, holy shit, they've green screened in mics to make it look like he's talking to the press. If you watch the extended version of the video, he walks a little bit over this way, and this is something no one's talked about. You can hear helicopters in the background. The rotors aren't moving on the fucking helicopter. So it was a weird video. I make no bones about it, by the way. I know what the American government's like, so the idea that they're not going to, like, occasionally green screen something or fake some shit is like, you know, just be, you know, I'm not a moon landing conspiracy theorist or nothing like that. I just know the American government lies every fucking goddamn day it exists, because I have higher than 80 IQ, like, you know what I mean? So whatever. So I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's a bit fucking weird, isn't it? But as always, I hold off. I wait and look at the evidence and everything else, right? So you can imagine what the journalists did. They were all over this shit. Debunking 4chan threads. Is there anything worse? Like, you've hit absolute rock bottom as a journalist if you're looking at 4chan and going, and then the hacker known as 4chan said, but this isn't true. Like, 4chan, everyone's trolling everyone else. Everyone's LARPing. None of it's real, you mad cunts. But you're there debunking. We're all having a debunk. So this guy compiled it all and said a false conspiracy theory has spread widely in the far-right internet, not just the QAnon community, that some incident involving a microphone and Biden talking to reporters shows he and the incident were somehow faked. Right? And you can see, look, Biden's CGI disaster, apparently, and there's a 4chan thread, but won't expand that. You never know what you're going to get. But you can see, false False. 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 Right, you haven't talked about Joe Biden's brain being a fucking mess. You haven't talked about Joe Biden forgetting the Secretary of Defense's name. You have had Snopes uncovering fire for that, though. You haven't talked about how all his handlers aggressively throw journalists out the room anytime someone tries to ask him a question. You haven't talked about any of this, but no, we've got to the bottom of this. Debunked! It's debunked! There's dozens of examples of this. I'm not going to get into it. By the way, it is someone who works at Media Matters for America, which, if you're not familiar with that, they are a literal propaganda outlet. That is what they do. Aaron Rupar from Vox, who you might have seen, we'll get to him in another stream, heavily accused of spreading misinformation because that's literally all he does. I do believe he used to work over there. No, sorry, my bad. It was the other propaganda outlet. It was Think Progress. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. The same way that you will notice they are constantly talking about QAnon as if any of it has any power or any influence over American society whatsoever. You know, you're not talking about, I don't know, some of the other power brokers in the American political landscape. You're not talking about the CIA, by way of, for instance, still running their sorts of game. No. The journalists think, like, it was even proven that it was the son of the guy who runs 8chan. Was QAnon the whole time. I think that was the story that ran just like 2-3 weeks ago. A bunch of boomers just got played for fools, all wanting to play amateur detective. No, Trump is still in charge. Trump is still in charge. Look, Joe Biden's a hologram. Yeah. Like, these people don't influence anything. But the lying media does. All right, yeah, we can't hold them accountable, you know. So anyway, they even went in and debunked this. So, that just sets it up nicely, doesn't it? Because what happens next? Joe Biden decides he's going to get on Air Force One. Oh, he's down, he's knee touched, he's down. Don't worry, we just look at the carpet, ride that out. And don't worry, salute. Yeah, nailed it, mate. Nailed it. Now, I never thought there would come a point where my life was so dark, where I'd be laughing at a 78-year-old man falling, because a fall on the stairs when you're this old is bad news. Like, it's simple as that. You know, like, the only person who could have probably done more damage to themselves than Joe Biden was Mr. fucking Glass from Unbreakable. But anyway, let's just watch it again. It's the salute that gets me. Yeah, nailed it, mate. No one saw. Nobody saw. And you know what? Since we did it, go on. This is literally like me. This is like when I've had a few and I'm trying to get up to bed. Well, can't wait. They've deleted all my favourite videos off Pornhub. Oh, no, is there even a point? I might just sleep on the stairs. No, be brave, Richard. You can do this. I'm getting up. Oh, no. These fucking bastard stairs. Oh, God, now my arm's down. Oh, my ribs. My precious ribs. Alright, well, fuck it. Straight to bed. And salute the front door. And straight to bed. And that's basically me on a night. So, absolutely insane. And you're going to see why. Because, I mean, like, listen. There's so much wrong with Joe. It's like, and you have to understand. It's not funny. He is evil, but it's not funny. It's still not funny. But if it was ever going to be funny, it's funny now. But it's not funny. But if it was funny, it's funny now. So, hope you can negotiate that little psychological minefield. So, Joe Biden's having a fall, right? And you can imagine, immediately, they're out, right? They're out in force. Disgraced journalist Dan Rather, he was out there, very prominent voice. What did he have to say about it? Joe Biden falling down the stairs. He said, tripping while running up the stairs to Air Force One is embarrassing. Tripping while running the response to COVID is deadly. I would argue the latter story should be a bigger headline. Yeah, we had those headlines. We had those headlines non-stop for a year, in fact. And those headlines have stopped mysteriously, even though people are still dying. And Joe Biden is taking full claim for a vaccine he had nothing to do with. Brilliant, yeah. Incredible, really. But you know, pathetic. But what do you expect? Dan Rather didn't have a lot of credibility after the time he lost his job. So he's not really got anything to lose anymore. What a sad end to a career that mattered. These are the White House comms. This is the White House comms director, Kate Bedingfield. I know folks have seen that President Biden slipped on his way up the stairs to Air Force One, but I'm happy to report he's just fine. Kamala Harris on Suicide Watch. I'm happy to report he's just fine and did not even require any attention from the medical team who travels with him. Nothing more than a misstep on the stairs. Nothing more. Nothing more. Forget all the other signs of dementia. Forget, you know, shuffling around and like Mr. Burns with his fucking gown on. Forget all of that. There's nothing to see. It's all fine, guys. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. You can also see as well, then we have to pivot, right? Because why would Joe Biden fall over? We can't see. He's just fell over because he's old and infirm. The world is watching. So what do we blame? The wind. It was the wind. This is the footage of him. Right, let's just have a look here, right? Not that windy, is it? His jacket's not moving that much, is it? Right? Update. White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre seems to blame the wind for President Biden's fall. She told reporters aboard Air Force One, "It's pretty windy outside. It's very windy, in fact. I almost fell coming up the stairs myself." He's doing 100%. CNN wanted to make it clear Joe Biden was 100% fine, because when a 78-year-old man has 3 falls on a flight of stairs, nothing to worry about here. He's 100% fine. Here he is. Look, they don't even show the picture of him falling over. They make it look. They use a see, they're quite clever. They've used a picture of him like just hunched over double. After he tripped, he didn't trip, did he? He fell over. He actually hit the floor. He actually hit the floor, didn't he, guys? You all saw it. He hit the floor, didn't he? Right? But what they've done is, instead of using that picture, which would be a more accurate representation of what happened, they've used it like he's just gone, I'm fine, guys. Here's my performative mask while I'm outdoors. Falling over. Now, why are you bringing this up, Richard? Why you bringing it up? Well, because as always, you see, as someone that cares about the ever-failing standards of journalism, it's very important to look and see, are the media being biased here? And it's kind of hard because Trump never fell over, did he? He never fell over. But I do distinctly remember there was a time when he went to West Point as part of, remember, he hates the military, he calls them all losers all the time, something that objectively didn't happen, another media lie. And he went on a wet ramp, and let's see how Donald Trump, 74-year-old, and all the Biden fans always do the same thing when you point out Joe Biden is infirm. They go, "Did you see the other guy?" "Yeah, I did, yeah. And Joe Biden is inarguably way worse." And basically, you can say, who do you think is more likely to have dementia or a serious mental impairment? Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And if anyone says Donald Trump, it's just a Rorschach test, essentially, for who is insane and who's been driven insane. Yes, and that article was also from The Atlantic, Fungaroo. Well remembered. Sorry I haven't replied to your tweets, by the way, Fungaroo. I do get them. I do read them. I'm just always eternally busy. Right, so let's have a look. Why don't we assess? Let's have a look how Donald Trump, a man everyone tells me is ill as Joe Biden. Let's see how he copes with a wet ramp, not stairs. A ramp, by the way. Ramps are infinitely more perilous when you're heading down them in the wet than stairs. Right? So let's have a look and see how Donald Trump does. Wow, he had the mental wherewithal to be able to negotiate a treacherous wet surface. This was a national news story, ladies and gentlemen. I am not joking. You saw it there yourself. I'll just look, right? Trump appears to steady himself walking down West Point ramp. And this did prompt loads of people saying he's ill, he's sick, he's ill. Don't believe me? It's all right. I spent the time digging it up, and I'm going to show you. We could just go straight to this one. Why not jump in at the fucking deep end, and let's make an assessment of this nature. Lindy Lee, why is Trump having trouble walking down a ramp and drinking a glass of water with one hand? Does he have Parkinson's? What was the reason for the mysterious Walter Reed trip last year? We deserve answers. All right, yeah, okay, let's get to the bottom of Joe Biden's inability to remember where he is, inability to remember who's in his cabinet, and inability to negotiate stairs. All right. And we, the American people, deserve answers, apparently, right? Not a problem. We can have a look at this headline. Tell me what you think of this. This was CNN. That immediately upped this incredible happening to trending. Is the president afraid of stairs? Yeah, tell me about it. Is he? Looked pretty afraid when he went down for the fucking third time. Right? Oh, you meant the other president. Sorry, my bad. Is Trump afraid of stairs? The New York Times went straight to health concerns. They went with Trump's halting walk down ramp raises new health questions. The president also appeared to have trouble raising a glass of water to his mouth during a speech at West Point a day before he turned 74, the oldest the president has been in his first term, until, of course, Joe Biden came along. Next up. By the way, drinking water again. Shout out to the deranged cunt, sadly Finnish, who was posting on YouTube going, he drinks more water when he's not doing by the numbers. Is it psychological? No, it's because when I'm the one doing all the talking, I need to take more fluid on for my throat. Very simple. CNN, again, this was wall-to-wall coverage on CNN. Donald Trump, that outrageous footage you just saw of him, you know, I'm mental, I'm mental, I can't do anything, I'm mental. Quick. Let's report about it non-stop. It is now up to journalists, those brave, not dog shit propagandists who've surrendered everything the job is meant to be about and subscribed to zero ethical principles ever since Donald Trump became a candidate, and probably a little bit longer before. It's now up to only the journalists can get to the truth about Trump's health. Said human fucking potato and personification of comfort eating Brian Stelter, a man who was younger than me but looks old enough to be my dad. I think it's now up to journalists to get to the bottom of Brian Stelter's hair loss and weight gain and why he keeps catfishing people on Twitter with his profile pic. You're almost as bad as Yashar Ali in that regard. CNN, of course, as I said, they spared no expense. They really went with this. They went with this big time. Here we go. Why the Donald Trump West Point ramp story actually matters. Because we need to get hate clicks. That's why it matters. It's the only reason it matters. It's the only reason CNN ran every fucking story they could about Donald Trump, always with a negative light. That's the only reason it matters. It's the only reason any story you ran mattered. None of them were in the public interest. That's not in the public interest, is it? You imagining Donald Trump having a health problem, not in the public interest, because he doesn't. And there's no evidence. And made all the worse, because you were the network that endlessly opined about how it was an alt-right conspiracy theory for fucking to speculate about Hillary Clinton's health. Just a throwback, actually, because I like to see it. Just a reminder to everyone out there, it was wrong to speculate about Hillary's health when she got thrown into a fucking van like a side of beef. You were not allowed to speculate about her health when this happened. Here she is. There she is. There she is, like a side of beef. Throw her in. Throw her in. Throw the beef in. You weren't allowed to speculate. You weren't allowed to speculate. You weren't allowed. It was wrong. It was evil. It was without foundation. She explained it. She had a cold. She got dizzy. Donald Trump walking down a ramp. We must get to the bottom of this. We must. There's nothing wrong with the media, guys. There's nothing wrong with the media. There's nothing wrong with the media. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're telling you the truth the whole time. Remember how he abused the emoluments clause and he was only using the office to get rich? Remember that? Another story. Like, we must get his tax returns. He's ripping everyone off. He's abusing the emoluments clause. He's using the most sacred office in the world to get rich. It's all he ever does. It's all he ever does. And then we look at the facts. Oh, his net worth dropped $700 million during his time as president. All right, well, we packed that one away. We packed that one away. We packed that one away. We packed that one away because the facts don't matter. It's all right. There'll be other ones. There'll be other ones. We'll get them next time, kids. We'll get them next time. You know, CNN are telling you why this story matters, and the only reason it matters is ratings. CNN's ratings. It's the only thing they ever care about. They are not a serious news network. They are a joke. And unfortunately, the whole mainstream media is like that. In fact, if I remember rightly, let me see if I can quickly bring them up. I do seem to recall that somebody went and got CNN's ratings since Trump left office, and it is B-A-D, bad. They are, as the kids say today, which is also super annoying, down bad. No one even uses it properly. Down bad. Let me see if I can just dig it out. I did bookmark them and put them at one side. I could also just Google it, couldn't I? That's oh my god. Yeah, probably quicker, innit? Here we go. I'll just give you, give it you out of the words out of it. This is why the story matters. CNN ratings are dramatically down since Trump left office. The network lost nearly 50%. 50% of its target audience. Mate, do you get it now? Does everybody get it now? Does everybody know what was going on now? Do we get it now? Oh, you didn't get it then, but do you get it now? Do you get it now? The network president over at CNN offered Donald Trump a show, then helped him, gave him advice on how to win the debate, so he got the Republican nomination, and then mysteriously decided at that point he was actually a white supremacist evil that had to be stopped, and spent 5 years publishing that on their network, screeching hysterically, don't worry about all the stories they had to retract, don't worry about all the journalists that got fired along the way because the stories were too egregious, that to keep them on would have been a massive legal liability. Forget about all of that. They got their ratings. Ratings were up. It was called the Trump bump. Everyone knows about it. None of it based on fact. All of it based on hysteria, creating a villain for the nation. Oh, I hate him. Oh, I hate him so much. I'll tune into my favourite channel that says they hate him. That was all it ever was. It was a ruse. And millions of people bought into it because millions and millions of people are fucking stupid. Stupid. I'll also actually, while we're here, because I did put it, look, I can give you, why don't we listen to Chris Cillizza tell us why that story matters. Watch him put it in his own words. Remember, this is Donald Trump walking down a wet ramp and not falling over.
I want to discuss this now with CNN's political reporter and editor-at-large, Chris Cillizza. You have a .com piece out today on CNN.com, and you lay out why this story should matter. Tell us why.
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple obvious things, Brianna. Number one is Donald Trump is 74 years old. Obviously, his birthday was on Sunday. He's the oldest person ever elected to a first term as president. Two, we know so little about Donald Trump's past medical history. Remember, this is someone who...
Also remember, you're the same network that argued, medical history is a private affair. I sense an air of sexism, Chris. I sense an air of sexism. They're not asking about men's health. They're asking about Hillary's health. It's a sexist, misogynistic issue. Fast forward, now we're asking about Donald Trump's health.
The entirety of his medical history was a 2015 letter by his personal doctor saying that he would be the most physically fit person ever to be president. A letter, I'll note, that the doctor has since said was dictated to him by Donald Trump. So we just have very little outrageous to go on. And when you have those two things and you add it to the fact that Donald Trump, whether it's Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton, makes the mental and physical health of his Democratic opponents an issue. He did it today. He said that Joe Biden was shot and weak. That's when I think what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yep. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. When do we get the CNN special about Joe Biden's health then? When's it coming? TikTok, TikTok. Now, don't worry. That's never happening because the media are a disgrace and will never be consistent. They are completely compromised. They, any network that criticizes Fox and engages in shit like this are as bad as Fox, if not worse. We all know what Fox is. We all know what Fox are. We all know what they do. We all know why they were created. We all know the history. These guys pretend to be impartial, and it's just fucking embarrassing. But here's what I thought I'd do before we get on to the next topic, is off the back of Joe Biden, right? Remember, Trump supporters were a cult, right? Remember that? Remember that line that we have to blindly regurgitate? The MAGA crowd are a cult. They're a bunch of cultists. They'll do anything for the cult leader. That's how we got a dangerous insurrection. A dangerous insurrection. It was an armed insurrection. They had no guns. There wasn't an armed insurrection. You keep putting that out there. That didn't happen. They could have. Yeah, no, but facts matter, surely. No, my feelings. Aren't you a member of... Aren't you an elected official? Like, why is the House just become a fucking pity party? You know? Because you got scared. Like, why am I listening to this? Where's my fucking stimulus check, you cunt? But anyway, just to show you, right? Just to show you that the Biden group, yeah, no cultists over there. This is quite possibly the worst tweet I've ever seen. Jesus fell 3 times. Oh, Lord. Why you make me read this? Why? Jesus fell 3 times carrying the cross while on the way to Calvary to save us. Biden also fell 3 times carrying the hardship America is going through on his way to deliver hope. Today, God looked upon Biden and said, "This is my son, the beloved, in whom I was well pleased." Parody? Where'd you draw the line? Who knows? I don't think so. The replies. Well, I see a lot of triggered atheists in my... No. It's not the devoutness. That's the problem. Yeah. Whatever. So, yeah, American politics. And these are the people, by the way. We are letting those people dictate what the rest of us can tweet. What our cultural standards are. Those people. Yeah. They're the ones that get to decide whether the rest of the world's sensible or not. Thanks, America. Thanks.